welcome back to Char'Nese Grad School. I am sad to say that this is the last episode of the season, but I am very excited to say that I got approved. And so I got approved for my research to begin. And so today's video, I'm going to just go back and like a backtrack, like a recap of the drafting process, number 1, number 2, the proposal process, and number 3, moving forward for your research in the future. So, number 1, drafting. I'm going to let you know because it's going to be a lot of drafts when it comes to prepping your research when you get to that final stage where you're ready to put all of your findings together. But also there's a lot of drafting on the front end when you're putting together your proposal to your committee for approval when it comes to if you're able to pursue and conduct your research. So I'm proud of this. I'm happy for this. But it was a lot of work because there's constant approval processes. I did like 3 drafts, which is not many, but I did 3 drafts of this baby right here before I was able to go up in front of my committee and present my work in order to be approved. So what that looks like is you're going and writing your lit review, you're writing your abstract, you're writing your methods, you're writing the ways in which you're going to conduct your research in the most detailed and precise way. And that goes into a lot about your lit review and all of your research and all of your findings on the front end is doing a lot early so that when you get to this point when it's time to put it all together, you're solid, you're confident in your work because it isn't a lot to do on that backside of putting this piece together for your committee. So get ready for constant email communication, constant face-to-face communication if you are an on-campus student. If you're online, get ready for those emails because it will be a back and forth conversation and relationship. So what that looked like for me is I met weekly with my chair and I would come in with one draft. He would say, okay, you're on the right track, you're doing great, but here's all things you need to fix. And so I would come back with those new edits the next week. And so the last edit process, the 3rd round of drafts I had, he was just like, you are doing fine, you're doing great. Email me these edits and I'll let you know if I need to meet in person, but you're on the right track, which was a blessing, which was a relief for me because it let me know that I was doing something right when it came to my processes. So beware, be excited for it, but be cautious because there's going to be a lot of draft processing when it comes to your proposal process, your lit review, your piece that you put together for your committee. And so it's not going to be perfect, so try to detach yourself from your work. I know this is your baby, I know this is my baby, but you're going to be critiqued and it's going to be edited for your good. So don't be feeling like, oh, they don't like me, they don't like this, but more so they're doing this to help me because they are the professionals, they are the experts when it comes to the industry, and you chose them for a reason. You wanted them on your committee for a reason. So they're giving you that sound advice for a reason. So don't be dismissive, don't be, what's the word I'm trying to say? Don't be offended, that's the word. Don't be offended when they give you advice. It's all to better you. And the reality is sometimes you might not take that advice for long. You take what they give you with a grain of salt when you can. If it's not that, you take it for long and you do what they say because they're the ones who are going to approve your process in the end. So beware of the draft process, beware that there's going to be some long nights, or there's going to be some things that you thought was right and they see as better and you have to change that. Your idea may or may not shift in this process. And you might even change your idea completely in this process, and that's okay. But be open, be accepting to this, because at the end of the day, this is still your project. This is still your thesis. This is still your work that's going to be published, that's going to be put out into the world. So you take care of it, you manage it in that regard, and be careful, even though you have a committee who is there to support you. Now going into the fun part, my approval process. So a lot of my friends, they were going in with PowerPoints, which is fine, going in with the whole script of how to do this. So let me back up a little bit. So when it's time for, when this thing is done and you did everything you can do on this, the chair of your committee will say, okay, Char'Nese, it's time for you to go and present this. And it's kind of going to be the same thing when it's time for you to defend your project or thesis at the end of your entire culmination of your degree. So once you do the research, once you do everything, you come back and you stand in front of them again and you go through what you did and what you found on your own research, and they deliberate and they say, okay, she's ready to graduate. And so that's how it was for this step in the process. So I went in there with a clear and clean outline of what I was going to do, And I talked through my project, I talked through my motives, I talked through my design, I talked through my methods, and why it's important to me, and the main part is to talk about how you're going to execute. Because it's cute and fancy and fine to have all this fluff around what you're going to do, but it is really important to show them how you're going to do it and how it's going to be effective. So I came with the questions I'm going to ask these journalists. I came in with the model of how I'm going to position myself as an interviewer into the situation, and basically you're reassuring them that you're ready and you're confident to go into whatever your setting is and do your job, do your research. And so we chatted for about 20 minutes. I left the room, came back in within a minute or two. They're like, okay, well, you got the papers, let's sign them up, you get to go. And so it was a relief in that regard, and I'm excited for that part. But you really have to prepare for your proposal process, because it's going to be a process and you have to be okay with that. So again, moving forward, your next step would be to, once you get approved, like I did, you're going to be able to, I'm not doing this to rub this in your face. Like, I'm just really proud of my work, and I'm really proud of the work that I've put in these past months. And I know that there's going to be a lot more work to do in the coming months, but this is the proof in the pudding for me at this stage of my grad program. And I'm just very excited that God has carried me to this point, because there was a time in this program where I felt unworthy. I felt like I didn't need to be here, or I wasn't supposed to be here. And this right here is God saying, girl, you are doing something for yourself, you are doing something for your family, you are doing something for your cousin and lots of other people in this industry moving forward. And you're going to make change. And I feel that with my whole spirit. And so I'm just excited, so I keep bringing it up. But I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. Like, y'all don't even know. So I want you to get to the point where you are so proud of your work. And this is only the beginning. So I can't wait to see how this 30-page draft turns into a 100+ page or 50, 60 page project of what I found based on my research in New York. So moving forward, I will be in New York. As I said, I will be interning somewhere right now. I don't know just yet, so keep your fingers crossed. Keep your prayers up for me to find somewhere good for the fall. And I'll be doing my research there. I'll be living in New York for sure, working in New York for sure, and just trying to do both at the same time, work and research. So keep me in your prayers in that part. And then I'll have my degree in December. And so this summer I'll be interning in LA and for NBC, which I'm very proud of. So keep me in your prayers in that regard too. LA is a fun city, a big city, but it's not home, it's not Chicago. And so I pray that you all pray for me when it comes to fit, when it comes to finding my niche in the City of Angels. So I thank you for watching, and like I said, don't go away, because I'll be back with Char'Nese Adventures, Char'Nese Bible Guide,